Yo, what's up, dudes? How you doing? So, very quick video. I'm just trying to squeeze one in. It's 1:16 a.m. and I got to do all kinds of junk this week, and if I'm lucky, I'll be able to squeeze another video in. But wanted to come on because I had a few people email me. My buddy Leo from Leo Kim Video, who probably I think has them. I think I sorted my fans by subscriber, and he's number one at about 260,000 subscribers. Toy reviews, pretty awesome actually. Unfortunately, my kids are getting older, and they're just not interested in some of the those toys anymore. Kind of bums me out. Leo, you got to do Minecraft videos. My son's 100% addicted to Minecraft now, so. It's his, like, sort of soulful. Oh, and that Jurassic Park game. God, he's totally addicted to that. He's always trying to get me to cough up money to buy something. I'm like, no, you got to earn it, bro. So, but he's just impatient. But you can earn all the cash. You don't have to buy it unless you're just impatient. But anyway, I digress. The main thing was the Led Zeppelin lawsuit from Spirit, that band Spirit. Now, that had been around for a number of years. If you're a Zepp fan, follow them at all, this has come up. This has been around. This is nothing new for a lot of people out there. What was interesting is they had on the Today Show this morning, and number one, the chick covering it admitted she had never heard Stairway to Heaven. I'm like, what rock do you have to live under? I don't care how young you are, to at least not one time hear Stairway to Heaven. And she's not like she's in her, maybe she is in her 20s. I don't know. She looked older. I thought she looked like she was in her early 30s. Could be wrong. But, like my wife said, people are into what they're into, and they may not necessarily be into that. And I was like, I suppose, but just in passing. Just somewhere along the line, you had to hear Stairway to Heaven. I mean, it's pretty much rated the #1 song by a lot of publications. The #1 rock song of all time. Anyway. So, as you may have heard, this group Spirit has a song that sounds strikingly similar to the opening to Stairway to Heaven. And that whole, sort of line cliche. Right, so it's like, right, this little line cliches are like, let me go to a clean sound here. I'll be driving myself cuckoo here trying to play this. Which one? Oh, yeah, there we go. So, a line cliche is usually taking the root and dropping it. So, D major 7, D dominant 7, D6, right? And you hear it in the song Michelle, and you hear it in Time in a Bottle. So these two notes stay the same. Common technique. Same with Stairway to Heaven. I mean, what a difference the right notes make. I think I'm out of tune here. Yeah. Anyway. No time to tune. Get to the chopper. Anyway, they opened for them the year before Stairway to Heaven was written. Now, I'm not saying that Stairway to Heaven isn't, embellished upon and changed, but that sort of opening foundation, that sort of opening riff does sound strikingly similar. I think we all sort of sat around and said, why the hell aren't they suing them for this? And they said on the news this morning it's because they were broke. They just couldn't afford a lawyer to sue them. So I got to think that they just got a lawyer on contingency, right? In the 40 years that's passed, a lot of lawyers got pumped out. So they probably found one that would take it on contingency. And then, of course, Zeppelin will go and hire, like, Marty Singer. And they'll find out what going against a high-powered band is like. But, sometimes David beats Goliath. So we'll see what happens. I got to say, if I was on the jury, I'd be inclined to side with Spirit on that one. And then, of course, they'd have two options about if they, let's say Zeppelin was found liable. The two options in the U.S., I don't know if it was filed in the U.S. or filed in the U.K. I'm assuming it was filed in the U.S. because in the U.S. we have what's called the American rule, versus the English rule. In the English rule, the loser pays the other party's attorney's fees. In the American rule, each party bears their own attorney's fees unless certain circumstances are there. In other words, you make a claim that the suit is wholly frivolous and without merit, and you're able to, sort of, convince a judge that there was, there's something that, lies outside that. There's consumer protection statutes. There's a few statutes out there that will protect when you can get, attorney's fees. But for the most part, you have to cover your own fees, so it's a little easier to sue in the U.S. And we do. But, so it'll be interesting to see, how that shakes out. If it's under the federal rules, discovery's about 2 years? Maybe 6 months to a year of trial prep. And before a pretrial conference, and then you're on for trial. So it's going to be a while before we figure out what's going to happen on that. And, of course, it just may settle. But the two options under America's copyright law would be, one, statutory damages of, I think, $150,000. If it's recorded copyright and if it's a willful infringement. And two, and I think because they opened for them the year before, it's going to be a little bit easier to show willful than if it was just, so-called parallel creativity, right? Two people can come up with a very similar riff, completely unknown to each other. I mean, it's absolutely possible. We only got 12 notes, right? And we tend to follow common things. And a line cliche like that could absolutely be created by somebody. So, but where they had access to it, that's where I think sort of hurts them. So their options are $150,000 for a willful infraction, or to disgorge profits. I'd be going for option 2. Right? Probably like $1 trillion. Like some ridiculous amount of money. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. So that's about it. Just wanted to come on and talk about that a little bit because it was all the rage today. And show you my new world's most awesome strap. Of course, you've got you got the lightning striking a bald eagle, clutching a Harley-Davidson V-twin. And I think this was a second because the Harley-Davidson is covered up, right? So they probably got this in there like, oh, you cut it too short or whatever. So this was broken. It's actually a little low for me. I don't know how you guys play guitars so low. And this, I see guys, the guitars are like, below the belt. It's like, what? How do you do that? Because for me, I'd have to play it like this. Right? There's no way I could get my wrist over the thing down like this. You know, I like to play it right around here. Anyway, wear it like a bib. And shred forever. Anyway. So, if you're going to Steel Panther tonight, and you see me there, feel free to say hello. I'll be there with my buddy John, who went with me last year. And he's the guy who introduced me to Steel Panther. And so we've been sort of like Panther pals for, 3 years now. You know, since Field of Steel came out. We went to the CD release party for Field of Steel. And because it was right down the road over in Nowid at the Newbury Comics Superstore. And they did an acoustic set and sounded friggin' awesome. My God, they were so good and they were so funny. And, you know, and then they were off for a while. The other thing about Steel Panther is their last album was self-produced. They were dropped by Universal Republic. You know, they're gone from that label, from what I can tell. If you go to iTunes and you look at the first 2 albums, it says Universal Republic, and then you get to the 3rd album and it's like Steel Panther Music, or whatever they call it, you know, Pantherville, you know, whatever the name of their company. It's clearly theirs, right? It's a self-produced album, which is why they ran that Kickstarter program where they were trying to raise $50,000, and they raised it in about 48 hours. So, now that people like the Panther, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. And a lot of people say, you know, when are they going to come out with a serious album? They're not. I'd be surprised if they ever did, because, you know, that's the whole appeal, is the joke, right? It's a goof. It's a frickin' goof. That's why it's funny. That's why we like them. You know, it's a grotesque exaggeration of 80s metal, and that's what makes it funny. So I hope they don't ever do that. I hope they stick with all the goofy songs. Songs like Glory Hole, you know, and Pussy Whipped. You know, they're funny. That's what I like about them. You know, some people think it's sophomoric. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, of course they're sophomoric. That's the joke, right? It's a goof. It's one big goof. So I find people, especially in metal, kind of serious, kind of take it a little too serious. You know, it's like I don't know. I think in a few years you'll look back and you'll laugh at how serious you were about it. I know I do. I'm like, though, to be honest, I was never that serious. I was always kind of goofy. So that's about it. So I look back and cry. All right. That's it. Not a lot of playing in this video. Here you go. Wait, twice. All right, hit me 3 times. You know, you want to become a better player. Study funk for a year or 2. It'll get your right hand into action, especially if, you know, on the, you know that. Get the funk down. It's good. It makes a difference. All right, guys. All right, I'll try not to step on the cord like I have in the last, 5 videos. All right, dudes. As always, rock on.